day, everyone. We're so happy to be here for International Women in Engineering Day, which is celebrated on June 23rd every year around the world to honor women in the field of engineering. This day is celebrated by Women's Engineering Society and supported by UNESCO with the intention to recognize women who work in the engineering sector and encourage more women to take up engineering. The American International School of Jeddah is proud to be partnering with MoneyGram Haas F1 team and to celebrate International Women in Engineering Day. We've launched our first discussion between members of the team and our scholars who will have a unique opportunity to learn from and engage with some inspiring engineers from the team.
I'm Laura. I'm mostly a performance engineer at Haas F1 team. My job is to go to the track and support the race engineer with vehicle performance.
My name is Monica and I am a simulation software engineer. My role here is to write the code which let the simulations work.
Hi, I'm Anna. I was born in Saudi. I lived most of my life in Riyadh actually. But so I'm a junior aerodynamics engineer. My role is split kind of in two. I spend half my time as a test engineer in the wind tunnel, where we run basically a series of tests to try out different shapes of the car, understand how it interacts with the air around it, and try and keep on whatever makes the car fastest. And the other half of my time I spend actually designing the surfaces and the components that go onto the car.
All right, thank you for joining us. So we've got Tamara Yusuf, Gala Musa, Linda Al-Gobari, and Ruleen. So these are scholars in the high school who are taking a STEM or computer science class. And we've got Haneen, there we go. Haneen Nagy as well.
So as I said, I grew up in Saudi, so I went to AISJ, which is the American International School in Riyadh. I went there from kindergarten until high school. So I spent most of my life there. I took IB classes in high school where I took higher level math and physics because I knew that that's something that I was interested in. So I think in American International School of Jeddah, you guys I think have IB as well. So that kind of kickstarted where I wanted to go towards the future. And then I studied in Boston for 4 years, where I joined my Formula SAE team, which is like a mini kind of F1 open wheel style of race car that we, as a group of university students, design and build from scratch. And so that's what really got me interested in F1 and this style of open wheel racing and sort of the engineering side of this. So that gave me the hands-on experience that really let me know, like, okay, this is what I like and this is what I want to study. And so from that was sort of my goal, was to get towards F1 because it's what I discovered in university, what I really like to spend my time on. It's something I really enjoyed. I like the competitiveness of it. I loved the technical side of it. And so eventually I ended up at Haas, just trying again and again to get it. And eventually I got hired, got the job, and that's where I am now. So just to clarify, in university, I studied mechanical engineering with a concentration in aerospace engineering. And that's what led me to a role in the aerodynamics department in Haas.
I actually was interested in F1 since I was a child. So I just loved watching it on a Sunday. In school, I actually did not really do anything technical. Like I never liked physics. I actually majored, so I went to school in Germany, so it's all a bit different, but my major subjects were history and Italian. So only after school, I kind of decided, I've always liked cars. So I studied mechanical engineering, which was definitely very difficult at the beginning, not having like the deeper understanding of physics and everything. So that didn't make it easier. But into like my second year of uni, I started interning in motorsport teams. And by like my third year in uni, I basically worked as in like junior formulas and everything on the side, or basically I studied on the side and worked in motorsport mainly. And after uni, I started in an endurance team as a systems and data engineer, and then went on to within the same team become a performance engineer, and then after some years became a race engineer. So I think after working like 5 years in motorsport, I applied to Haas for the first time. Didn't get the job, and then a year later I applied again and got the job at Haas as a simulator engineer. And then after like a few months I became like third performance engineer, and now I'm an actual trackside performance engineer.
I didn't know much about motorsports before I joined Haas. I did my education in India, like most of my education. So I studied Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Technology. Then I worked in India for 5 years on like a normal software company where you get requirements and you develop a software out of it. And then I came to UK for my master's. So I did master's in IT and strategic innovation. And then I was applying for so many jobs. And then one of the job was at Haas F1 team. And then I got the job. And after that, I learned all about motorsports and how all the simulations work.
Can you share a significant project or experience in your engineering career that has had a lasting impact on you? And how did that contribute to your growth as a professional?
Yeah, I think for me, that's something that really motivates me is seeing, my work, like the physical manifestation of that work on track. So I think that's for sure one of the most motivating and like impactful projects that I've done.
I'm not a classic mechanical engineer, obviously, because we get the car and we just optimize it basically. So I've never ever like designed a part. In uni, obviously you have to draw things. But yeah, I do a very different thing of mechanical engineering. And what fascinated me the most in my career was my first 24-hour race. So lots of cars obviously break and everything, and there's crashes. And the first time I was at a 24-hour race, I saw this team who broke their car in a crash at like 4 hours into the race, and they stayed up all night, like the mechanics, the engineers, everybody fixing that car for about 8 hours, and they went back out to finish the race. And that kind of teamwork and just like, yeah, like endurance and just being so focused on making it work kind of fascinated me and made me decide that I wanted to do motorsports.
I think my favorite project would be my first project at Haas F1 team, which was just to write like a simulation package, which will like speed up the simulations to go faster. Because I was very new to the field, I didn't know what all the words means. So I'll just pronounce the words and just ask my team members, oh, what is ride height or what is CLF or CLR? So in that project, I learned a lot. So that's my favorite.
That's amazing. I hear a lot of terminology that all three of you have talked about, and I hope our scholars are able to pick up on that, because I heard simulation, I heard computational thinking skills, algorithms. We study a lot of that in all the STEM classes and computer science classes. So this is brilliant.
What do you think the most enjoyable part of your job is, like the communal aspect?
So when you see the car running on the track, and then you know that you wrote a software which someone is using to make that car go faster, then you feel very happy about it.
Yeah, just to add on, I think a similar thing, kind of building on what I said before as well. I like seeing the results of my work, like physically in front of me, like to see or to know that what I've done is contributing to making this car faster, knowing that the design that I had in my head is now produced and on the car. That for me is like so rewarding. And just anything that we do that I know ends up making the car more competitive, because I'm a competitive person by nature. That's something that I really like.
What I enjoy the most, so obviously being trackside, you kind of have this, you propose a change on the car, and if then the change is a good thing, you have a very quick reward for it. But yeah, I have to say already, when you make a change on the car and it does what you thought it would be, even if it's not really better, it's already pretty good.
Okay, hello. First of all, my name is Tamara. I'm also a rising sophomore like Linda, and I've taken physics in 9th grade, and hopefully I'll be taking STEAM in 10th. And my question was, do you think any skills you've learned in your work life have helped you in your personal life? Like, have they contributed to anything important or anything else you've learned?
Those skills that I just mentioned, being more decisive, being able to take on a lot of, information and make a decision quickly. It is helpful in life, to be more decisive in general is something that I think is beneficial. Dealing with the pressure, I find that I get less stressed out, because the things that I used to think were stressful, now I don't find to be so stressful. So dealing with that, thinking through decisions a little bit better. I think I've just become a little bit better at, I would say that kind of thing. So taking on information and making decisions based on that, for sure, my personal life has also improved.
Hi, I'm Relene, and I took AP Physics. and I also took robotics. And my question is, what are some obstacles that you faced in a male-dominant field, and like what did you do to like pass it, like go through it?
I'd love to answer this question. So I've been doing trackside jobs my whole life, and in smaller teams, smaller formulas, endurance, everything, you're not very well respected as a woman. At least you weren't 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So everybody generally kind of has this idea that you're not going to be as good as a man in your job. So you always have to prove yourself. So you have to be prepared for that fact that you need to basically be better than everybody around you. But it also kind of helps you because you just like rise above and just become better at what you're doing. And yeah, but in F1, I've never had that issue. So I think it's just if you are in a more high level environment, I think gender equality has caught up a little bit more.
And to just wrap up this conversation, just a general question, what advice do you have for our young women here today and generally who have a passion for this particular field in engineering?
The advice in general is that, you know, I grew up in Saudi. I know what it's like to grow up in that environment. And I never felt like that's something that held me back in any way at all. You know, I went to AISJ. It was a school where, you know, we knew anyone could go on to study whatever they wanted. I grew up in a supportive environment at home as well. My parents were always super supportive, but I really believe that if there is something that you want to do, if it is engineering or whatever else that you're interested in, there's really nothing that should hold you back. And so the only advice is to just go for it. If it's something that you decide that you like, yeah, there's no reason to shy away from it. Go for it. As Laura said, also in F1, even though it is a male-dominated industry, I've never really felt so much of that negativity or anything like that in the workplace.
All right, thank you so much, everybody, for being here today and being part of this conversation. I hope that AISJ and the MoneyGram Haas Formula One team continue to partner in the future. And all the best to all of you. Thank you and have a great day.